everybody knew that this was gay. All right? Ta-da! No one was shocked by the information. It was just more like a series of realizations for me.
Hi, I'm Shawn Hollenbach, and welcome to Closet Cases, the show where LGBTQ comedians and performers tell their coming out and transitioning stories live on stage and then go deeper in a podcast. Today we have Michael Brill. He is hilarious. He's a MAC Award winner, and he's also alum of Closet Cases. So take a listen.
Because I was gay from go, people. The moment they shut off that fucking gun, I came sliding out of Karen Brill's thighs. Covered in glitter. And by glitter, I mean placenta, but I just thought I would add a little something to the story. The doctor picked me up by my ankle, slapped me on the ass. I turned and looked at him and said, "Is that all you got?" Doctor man. And I know what you're thinking. Newborns can't speak. I didn't have to. I said it all with my eyes. Yes, I did. You think gay is a choice, people? No, it is not. Okay? Do you think I would choose this every day? No. I'm exhausting. Okay? Do you think I wanted to have a dynamic personality and a flair for choreography? No! I did not. It's just the cards I was dealt. You know what I mean?
Michael, I'm so happy you're doing this. Thank you so much. You were electric at Stonewall, which is so great. I'm so glad you're doing this podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, of course. We are at the Hollingsworth currently, which is my home.
And it is happy hour.
It is. He's drinking a Bud Light, and I'm having a vodka tonic, or vodka sodas. Vodka tonic.
Vodka tonic.
Who am I?
I don't know. I ordered a Tom Collins, and I got a Bud Light. I don't know exactly how that happened.
I loved your story. It was so great.
Oh.
I loved you refer to Karen Brill right away. Mm-hmm. Now, you were born in Brooklyn.
I was.
And then when did you end up moving to Staten Island?
The moment the Guinea Gangplank was completed, the Verrazano Bridge. We moved into our first house. I was 3.
Oh, wow.
I was 3 years old. My brother was 4, and my younger sister was 10 months.
Wow.
Yes, 3 of us.
So you were only a hipster for only like 3 years.
Only about 3 years. I was the start of the movement, basically.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the movement to Staten Island. Now, Staten Island, even though it's in New York City, is still pretty blue collar, would you say? Is that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it got what? 89% of the vote for Trump?
Right.
We're proud of that. Also, we also have the highest cancer rate from Maryland to Miami, which is something else.
What? Why is that?
Staten Island. Well, because of the garbage dump.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah. I mean, that was my nickname in high school, but the point of the story is I'm still spreading disease in Staten Island. That's basically what I'm saying. Yeah, we had the largest garbage dump in the world, actually, and it's now closed. But of course, you know, those toxic gases are seeping out, ready to capture and kill your children. What?
Well, you have to be known for something.
Exactly. You don't see that in the pamphlet on the way over.
So picture it. It's 1976, bicentennial, at Junior and Karen Lebeto's backyard party. Everybody was there, okay? I was living for my life. I was so excited because it was 4th of July. Couldn't take it anymore, right? It's a birthday for America, 200 years old. I'm ready. So let's go to the party. We get to the party, and my father decides, he's like, well, you boys are getting big now. I'm going to give you boys some fireworks. Fireworks? So he hands us a pack of fireworks, and I was like, what is this? He was like, me unravel them, and here's a book of matches. Your brother will light the matches. You get to throw them and go boom. I was like, oh, okay. Boring. Get rid of these things. I was like, see you later. I, on the other hand, was swept away in the magical essence of something called a sparkler. That's right, everybody. Fucking sparklers. Are you kidding me? These are amazing. They're like electrical pom-poms. I love them. Right. You take these everywhere I go? No? All right. Maybe just for today, then. So excited about the sparklers. I was like, this is fantastic. You know what I really should do? A dance number. Of course. As every 6-year-old boy does, you know, during the holidays. So I take I take some unlit sparklers, I go behind the shed, and I start to work out my routine, right? Planning, I'm all excited, can't wait, I'm shoving streamers in my shorts. It's show business, people, I'm gonna sell it when I get out there. I am ready. I come out from behind the shed, people are like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, everyone sit! Everyone's like, sit! My hot dog is almost done, shut up and sit! I realized it'd be entertainment, and I was like, no one did. No, we're just let the kid do it. All excited. Would you like these from me? Now, in my head, hush falls across the crowd, spotlight on me, and sparklers. Hit it! She's a grand old flag, she's a high-flying flag, and forever the grace that she wearing. She's the emblem up and click the land. I love to bring the home of the free and the great. 2, 3, killing it! The crowd went wild. He's amazing. That was fantastic. I'm emotionally exhausted. Need a few moments to myself. But as I look across the driveway, I see my dad kind of like shuffling behind the other dads, and I was like, "What's his problem? Did I leave something out? He looks a little disappointed. Did he want more? Was that what it was? Did he want more? I would have given it to you. Listen, I had no budget. No choreography. I'm 6. I got some sparklers and hardly no rehearsal time in the pull shed. I did the best I could do. But everybody else loved it. Him, on the other hand, not so much. He looked a little frightened, and we never spoke about it again.
It sounded like you as a kid, you needed like Jerry Mitchell or maybe like Julie Taymor to help you put on your shows.
Well, I wish. I mean,
you're serving Broadway realness.
Behind the pool shed.
Yes.
No budget. Go on.
As fabulous as your shows you were putting on,
Yeah.
were you hurt that your father didn't seem to really enjoy the shows?
See, as a kid, it was the mental recognition of he looked disappointed to me. So my deal was, did you want more? Should have been a cartwheel? If I had a jump rope, I would have been, skipping the entire time. What did you need? It was so true to who I was. To me, like spreading joy and dancing and having fun was the norm for me. I didn't recognize that boys, should have been doing, other things than trying to put together a 2-step behind a pool shed. You know what I mean?
So do you think that Staten Island, they really wanted you to conform to what the male stereotype is?
Absolutely. In so many different ways, though. Even in the accent, even the way that people talk. It's just, shut the fuck up. They were tough. It's definitely a blue-collar borough, and it's great. I mean, it really is. I love Staten Island. I really do. I have such an appreciation for it because there's two, I'm sure there's many sides to many people. I'm more of an octagon myself. There's many sides. But one of the sides that I am really proud of is being a tough New Yorker.
Yeah.
And it does toughen you up, and it does give you a thick skin.
As you're burping out your...
As I burp. Thank God my farts are silent. Okay. Is this on? It gave me a thick skin and a different understanding as what a man is expected to be or what they look like to everybody else, Right. I didn't recognize I was different until someone told me I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it didn't really affect me negatively. It just kind of made me more aware of what I was putting out there. You know what I mean? I wasn't your average everyday boy.
Obviously not.
Ta-da!
Electric pom-poms. Now, was your sister also doing the shows? I know later you talk about it where you're picking her up, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But doing these pool shed shows, was she also involved in this?
No, not at the time. She didn't have her SAG card at the time, so I was only doing equity things at the time. So. Years later, I sponsored her. We both had our cards, but the point, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. But my sister always cracked me up, though, is because she was my biggest supporter, though, too.
Oh.
She loved, well, I was the big brother. We had an older brother, but he, again, like he was different from her and I was Nancy Sinatra and he was NASCAR. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that reference.
It was so true, though. I mean, he was, again, I remember like 10 and 11. He was like installing carpet with my uncle, and I'm, styling Barbie for one. You know what I'm saying? We were very, very different. But my sister was absolutely my biggest supporter, and I was her big brother, and I could do no wrong in her eyes. And she absolutely knew I was definitely different from the other boys. But she accepted it. She loved it. We played Barbies togetger. I mean, oh yeah. Me and my sister were really, really tight because it was almost like she could, and not even as I'm even saying it, it wasn't even like intentional, but it was more that she would guard my secret and keep it safe.
Oh, wow.
By being a boy that liked to play with dolls. Like, she wouldn't tell my brother that that's what we would be doing all day in the Barbie dream house. You know what I mean? Right. My brother would probably think that big G.I. Joe was stopping by. No. It was me and Skipper. And it's funny, like I said, when I just said that a second ago about guarding my secret. Because, again, she was just there was never any judgment from my sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never.
Your sister's so lovely.
Well, she knew me. She saw me, and she wasn't bothered by it, or even found it a topic of conversation when others did.
Now we're 8, okay? And we're at PS36, killing it, having a good time, flipping my Charlie's Angels cards. I was one of the cool kids, absolutely. Jumping rope even when I wasn't. Hey, everybody, what's up? Nothing. You? Okay. So I'm all excited. I get picked to be in the winter pageant, okay? And by picked, no one else wanted to do it. So I was in the winter pageant. Not only was I in, they had a Christmas carol. It was over a weekend. Started on a Friday, ended on a Sunday. Starting the winter pageant, they had a variety show. Totally pumped. Of course, I had a part in it. Then, of course, at the end, they were doing the full Christmas carol. I was Jacob Marley, killing it. So excited. But I figured, I was like, okay, let's think about it this way. If you're ever going to get in the PS36 Town Crier, you really got to turn out this performance, okay? So at the variety show, I'm doing Babyface, the song, You Got the Cutest, right. Babyface, who? That's right. You're up in heaven, right. Me and Elizabeth Ann Perot, okay? She, on the other hand, wanted nothing to do with it. The song, me, none of it. She wanted to do none. I was like, come on, Liz, this is going to be great. She's like, talking to me. So I go to my teacher, I'm like, will there be costuming? She's like, no, sorry, there'll be no costuming. I went home anyway, took some poster board, and made fucking baby bonnets and oversized baby pins for the performance. I know. It was going to be great. I show up, it's like 3rd grade. I show up with these oversized pins and hats, and this teacher's like, where'd these come from? I'm like, who cares? Let's put them on anyway. It's going to be great for the routine. Great. It's going to be so fun. I know. Killing it all over the place. So I am now stage left, all excited, pin, bonnet on, ready. I look at Elizabeth Ann Perot, we're just ready to go out. She's next to me. I look at her, I go, follow my lead. This girl is 8. She was like, looked at me like, what? She's like pooped in her underoos. What the fuck is this maniac talking about? And what is he gonna make me do when we get out there? I'm afraid. Be afraid, Elizabeth, but be on your toes at the same time. Go! Music starts, boom, Elizabeth goes right out, center stage, and stands frozen. I, of course, wait for the entrance moment, and come out full kick line. She's got the cutest little baby face. She's up in heaven when I'm in, boom, far, get out of my way. I wouldn't need a hug if I I run to the left side of the stage, come sliding out on one knee, pull her backwards, pretty baby boys! I was going to put on, but this time she's crying. She's like, and her parents, just get me off this fucking stage. The crowd went wild. People going crazy. They were like, oh my God, that was amazing. My mother's got a car keys in her hand. She's like, that was great. It was really wonderful. Fantastic. Teacher comes over to her at the end. She goes, oh, did you guys put that together at home? My mother goes, no, I had nothing to do with that. That's my Michael. And I was like,
So I had baby face stuck in my head for like a week after you did that.
That's because you have the cutest little. Hit it, baby.
It's everybody. Now, where did you even rehearse these shows? Because it seemed like your mom wasn't really aware of this. Were you rehearsing at school, or did you just make it up on the fly? Like, what did you do?
Okay, I did bring up costuming. The moment I heard there would be no costuming, I was furious. Because it was the winter pageant, and I was also a part. They did the Charles Dickens, The Christmas Carol.
Yes. You played Marley, Jacob Marley.
I did play Jacob Marley. He got to wear chains and locks. I mean, it was very exciting. There was things to drag around. Really exciting. I love styling. So when I heard that was going to be part of almost like the opening performances, I was, again, really excited. And when I heard there was no costuming, I was like, what? My teacher was Mrs. Farragano, and she looked at me again. She goes, no, I'm sorry, Michael. There will be no costuming. I was like, okay. Sure there won't. I immediately went home, and I took there was poster board in the basement, cut it up, hot glue gun, Mary. Dead serious, made baby bonnets and big oversized diaper pins. And I walked in on the day of the performance. Now, what you may think about when you say choreography, I say to myself, just dance, bitch. Because I knew, again, the size of the stage, because I had been rehearsing with the Christmas Carol people. And I just knew that whatever we would do, because again, it's a fun song, lots of jazz hands, of course.
Yeah.
It's a fun song, but we could definitely enhance it, because why just stand there? Sitting alone in the room. Come on, come hear the music play and dance to it. So I walked in the day of the show. Again, Elizabeth Ann Perrone had no idea what the hell was going on. Mrs. Farragano was like, where did you get those from? I was like, who cares? Let's put them on. Dead serious, walked out on stage and tore it up. And it was so fun because the moment as a kid, my behavior at times was looked at as a little, okay, all right. Right. There was Ritalin at the time. Yes, my parents would have been snorting it. But the point is, it would have been prescribed to me. I was just a ball of sugar. I was just excited all the time. Everything was go.
Yeah.
So it was just, all right, you know what I mean? 150 miles per hour. I was pumped. So when I got to the stage that night, I just knew, I'm like, we got to do more with this. Look how many people are here. And they are so excited.
Putting on a show, Michael Brill.
Totally. Let's turn that mother out. And like I said, that was the only time, the only time being on stage and performing and doing some kind of dancing or singing, whatever it was the only time that my behavior was accepted and applauded.
Right.
Because again, I was always looked at as this rambunctious, ridiculous boy. Who is this? I mean, again, I knew Peter Pan was fun. He could fly. There was in the 70s, there was the boy in the plastic bubble. You know what I mean? I knew what boys did, but I knew there were also different ones. I hadn't met one like me, of course, until I turned on Bewitched and met Uncle Arthur. Again, not the point of the story. Pauline bursting into flames, but fun.
Yeah.
And people appreciated him. So I kind of thought that what comes most natural to me, being silly and dancing and jumping up and down, is really looked at respectfully, or at least enjoyed when I was on some kind of stage.
As a kid, did you want to become an actor, or did you want to be a star, or did you want to be Paul Lynde?
I wanted to make sense of what the hell was going on. Again, you're 7. You know what I mean? The times tables are supposed to be your biggest problem. I'm wrangling personalities, bitch. I mean, there was a lot of shit going on. I barely took my training wheels off my bike. Come on. Yeah, like I said, that was the funny part. There was so many, there were so many adult decisions that were going on in my mind, and at the same time, like I said, my biggest problem should have been, do I go roller skating today or break out the damn pogo stick? What, right? I mean, what are we doing today?
But again, it never stopped. So now I'm 10. Of course, my favorite show is Solid Gold. Ever. Solid For those of you who don't know, it was like dancers, like the top 10 songs of the week they play, and then they had dancers come on too. And of course, my favorite was who?
Dorothy!
That's right. Chocolate Thunder. This bitch fucking turned it out every motherfucker week. Black girl, berets down her ankles, whipping that shit around, setting me right. I was like, oh, I love her. Can I be here for Halloween? This is gonna be great. My mother has a gold one piece. This will be fantastic. Don't worry. And I was like, you're not gonna be the black woman from Solid Gold. It's not gonna happen. An old mop and look great. And the gold one piece, I came out, I was like, you are not gonna be the black woman from Solid Gold. I'm sorry, no. Your brother is gonna be a cop and you are gonna be Frankenstein. I was like, Frankenstein? What has he done? Frankenstein. Get the fuck out of here, Frankenstein. Does Frankenstein wear a gold bathing suit? No? Oh, okay, whatever. Just gonna marry to that whole blazer look? All right, whatever, Frankenstein. Whatever. Pissed.
Okay, I love your Solid Gold outfit. Now, were you gunning to be on RuPaul's Drag Race at age 3? You're like
Serving Solid Gold realness.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Got the Midas touch.
Now, did you ever have you ever done drag in your life?
Once. I did drag once with my two friends, both named Martin. We went to a Halloween party and we were Charlie's Angels. Not the 70s Charlie's Angels. We were the reboot. We were Cameron Diaz, right? Drew and
Which one
Lucy
were you?
Liu. I was Lucy Liu, okay? Okay. This is hilarious, though, too, because the night of the party, you know, totally stoked, ready to have fun, blah, blah, blah. We had wigs, and my outfit was kind of like black, kind of like stretchy bell-bottom pants. I had a little belt going, shimmy, little belt thing happening. Half shirt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
I shaved the stomach hair, and then I had a wig. With a little bang. It was hilarious, though. So now it's the end of the night. I'm going home. I was the ugliest woman you have ever seen in your entire life. One of my friend Martins got picked up. Some guy actually thought he was a woman. Clearly, he was completely wasted. But the point of the story is, my other friend Martin was Cameron Diaz. She looked like a frumpy housefrau. No one hit on her. Bizarre. And it was crazy. By the end, this girl had come up and put some disgusting makeup on us. And by disgusting, I mean it wasn't flattering. By the end of the night, I was like, I mean, take the wig off. I took the wig off, and whatever hair I had left on my head is now stuck to it. So now I look like Joel Grey from Cabaret. You know what I mean? Removal of the bangs, all of a sudden you're Joel Grey. On the way home, I stop at the local bagel store. This is hilarious. He used to be on 3rd Avenue. I walk in, and the guy looks at me and he goes, no, he sees me every day. He goes, oh, did you go to a Halloween party? I looked at him and I said, no. He's like, well, then you'll be taking that to go then, right? Okay, thanks, Mary. Good night.
Now, Mom, was she appalled when you wanted to dress as a woman for Halloween? Or was she just sort of more like, no, Michael, you're just going to put on Frankenstein and that's what you're going to do?
My mom, well, again, 3 kids. She worked at Sears. She was the poor thing. She worked at Sears, and she was the head manager's secretary. Mm-hmm. And she would get bizarre phone calls every day, like, he ate the last Pop-Tart. She's making tuna in the house. I hate the smell. This poor woman was trying to run her life. The thing again, single mom, and again, it was the 70s. So you got the store-bought costume, which was plastic with the elastic band around your head. You were like, again, I was Casper once, and that was one of my favorites. The clown, or, but my mom always wanted to make our costumes, which was always fun, though, too, because, again, it showed her creativity. And by creativity, it means no money to buy them. How many times she would, smudge black stuff on her faces and give us an old flannel shirt? She's like, you're a bum. Now go out and beg for candy. Great. Just like your father. Get the hell out of here. The year that I wanted to be the Solid Gold dancer was because I guess I was 10 or 11. And again, it was my favorite show. Solid Gold was the best. And I was totally in. And the lady with the braids, just mesmerizing to me. And no matter what series of dance she showed up in, she was magical. The braids were also part of the dance. It was incredible to watch her. So, of course, when it came around to Halloween, that's exactly what I wanted to be. And knowing that Mom was wearing a gold bathing suit in the summer, in June, July, I'm already planning October 31st. I'm wearing the bathing suit. We'll get some kind of yarn. I mean, we'll do some kind of like yarn hair braids. It'll be amazing. I couldn't wait for it. Yeah, she was absolutely horrified because one, she's like, I'm not sending my son out in my bathing suit. I'm not doing it. Okay. I purchased this for me. This is my bathing suit. I'm not putting my son in it and sending him out to beg for candy. And at the time, I just didn't understand why. Like, but why not? Like, why? Everyone knows it. She's recognizable. I just wanted it to be an expression of who and what I loved. And that's what, Halloween was all about. So, again, you're not going out in a gold bathing suit. You're going to be Frankenstein. I was like, I don't want to be Frankenstein. She was like, it's easy. We put on a black shirt, a blazer, some things in your neck, some green paint. You're out the door. I said, I'll do the same thing with the gold bathing suit. You got makeup inside. There's yarn in the hall closet. It'll be amazing. And she's like, you're being Frankenstein. I was like, all right. And then I'm thinking in my 10-year-old head, can Frankenstein wear the bathing suit, maybe? Everyone close their eyes. Get the image. Frankenstein, gold bathing suit. Gold one piece.
I'm seeing it right now. She looks stunning. 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 Those sewed-on arms.
Gorgeous.
Legs from two different people. Same bathing suit.
Gorgeous.
Because I was like, if I'm not watching people dance, I'm dancing. So you would stop by my house, cup of sugar, a birthday, I'm dancing. All right, come in, sit down. People are like, fuck, again, great. And me and my sister had this whole routine because we'd watch Solid Gold every week, put our dance routines together, and just wait by the front door for people to show up. Is that Rose? Is she home next to her? Hey, Rose! Rose! Got a dance number for you. Anyone that came to the door. I, of course, would be, something fetching in terry cloth off the shoulder. Fantastic. My sister would always take her t-shirt and pull it up, you make a sexy top out of it. Yes! She was not playing around. And how we would always end up, the party by my sister coming running down the hallway, and we would do the Dirty Dancing lift. Fantastic. I'd be spinning this fucking idiot 10-year-old on my shoulders, screaming for her life. Ta-da! Put her. So I'm in the kitchen foyer by the front door, pulling myself together in between numbers, and and I hear my Uncle Frank saying, my Uncle Frank is like, okay, saying to my cousin, he's like, come on, let's go out and watch that faggot dance. Who? What faggot are we talking about, Frankie? First of all, I don't know who this faggot is, but this is my motherfucking show. Take a bitch down! My show! Pissed! I didn't even know what the word faggot meant. I thought it meant professional dancer. I was like, oh, that must be me. I didn't even know what it meant. I really didn't. But then I started hearing it a lot. Often. Finger pointing. Things thrown at you in the classroom. Faggot. I always thought it was a good time. I wasn't out to hurt anybody. I just wanted to dance. You know what I mean? Can't stop a boy from dancing. That's all I wanted. I just wanted friends and have fun. But all of a sudden I was this word that I didn't even know didn't really know what it meant. I didn't know I was different until someone told me I was. And apparently it wasn't a good thing. And my brother, I know, but I'm taller than him now. I can kick the shit out of him. It's perfect. It's great. But my brother, this is your family. And he would say it to all the kids in the neighborhood. So, if you're giving if your own brother is saying it, you're giving permission to everybody to fucking say it. So it was a really weird time, you know what I mean? I was like now like 12, 13. I was like, I couldn't be myself anymore. It was a lot to deal with, you know what I mean? I mean, at the same time, I just found out that Mary from Little House on the Prairie was going blind. I had a lot going on. It was a busy time. Yeah. That's right. If it wasn't from Monroe on Too Close for Comfort, I wouldn't be here tonight.
Who's Frankie?
My uncle Frank.
And so he was just over, and he was already expecting some sort of show, or
Yes,
and
it was a birthday party, which of course everyone else is just thinking cake and coffee. I, on the other hand, making interpretive dance in the living room. Everyone sit down, turn out all the lights. Moment Shawn's was out. It was an exciting time for expression of dance. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Please, I had a toilet paper thing on my head. Slowly unraveled, you know, kind of like me, slowly unraveling. Again, it didn't at first register with me when they said the word faggot. And I'm not kidding, when I did say it during the performance was when I heard faggot, I did think it meant professional dancer. What? What's the problem? And I wanted to know, who is this other bitch in here ready to take over the show, okay? Because this is my show, my living room, my show.
Michael's show. Always. And well, what's your relationship with him today? Are you guys close, or?
Well, I think no.
Simple answer.
No, it's not. No. I mean, well, again, we're older, and he's an old man now, and he moved away and took his ignorance with him. Thank goodness. He had to check it in the overhead. But the point, I don't hold it against any of them. Like in my mother, my father, their like ideology of what masculinity or what boys are supposed to be, or I think it's just from where we come, you know, growing up the way that we did and where they came from too. You know, Mom was born in 45. Uncle Frank was probably born in hell. And they had a different type of understanding of what boys were supposed to be. I really do think that I was unleashed on all of them to make them recognize that the times they are a changing. You know what I mean? Not just for the world around them. Ta-da! It's me. All right. So, and let's make this happen. And like I said, and I never had, there was no apprehension. I was full steam ahead.
Yeah.
So when people would be negative, when he said that word faggot, that day, I did not know what it meant. Again, in my mind, I was like, I will kill a bitch. But at the same time, it was a label. It was something that was given to me. You know what I mean? I didn't ask for it, but it was something that was given to me. So now, was it my job to carry that title around? No. But it was, again, something that was given to me. And it was not the last time that I had heard that.
Right, and your brother was calling you that. Have you guys reconciled?
Yes.
That? Okay.
My brother in so many ways. I mean, even when my brother got married, he was 24, I think. But even when he got married, there was a conversation at first, not with me, but overheard by me, of him talking to my mother about asking his best friend, Carl, who I love. You know, he's actually, my brother and Carl married sisters, Kelly and Karen Smith. Yeah. So they married sisters. And there was talk of him being Carl being my brother's best man. And my mother was not having it. Your brother will be your best man. How, you don't take this out of the family. It's your brother. It's your brother. But in my head at the same time, though, too, was we weren't as close as him and his friend Carl.
Right.
But I think my mother, like, making that happen, it did bring us closer. It did. Because it forced us to not only spend time together, but have a respectful understanding of who we were. You know what I mean? I was out of college by then. Mm-hmm. He's getting married. We're adult people now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not kids anymore. And yet, the label may still remain in some people's minds. In his, it didn't. And that, for me, will always be something that I'll always be grateful for, because that did change the pattern.
Yeah.
That, like, the chain of events, and even just the thought of each other. It changed then. So I still do enjoy. Look at me, I'm getting a little teary, you bitch.
Aww.
Thank God I'm wearing waterproof.
Your mascara looks gorgeous.
Thank
by
you,
the way.
darling. I'm glad you. Thank you for noticing.
Yes.
But it changed our lives, and I felt welcome in his new world. When my brother and I shared a room, so now he's married, and I'm going to his apartment.
Yeah.
And sharing in his new world. You know what I mean? I'm still the faggot brother, but he didn't care anymore. And I don't think in his mind I was just then his brother. You know what I mean? He dropped the faggot.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, was Carolyn, did she used to come to your defense when people would bully you, or?
She was 3 years younger than me, and my sister was a tough bitch. She grew up with 2 older brothers. My sister was a tough bitch. I will just drop one quick story. We're walking down a hallway in high school. I see a ring of girls, and everyone's yelling, "Fight, fight." And from the ring of girls, all I see is a huge wooden umbrella handle coming up and down over the head. So it's being slammed onto someone. As I got closer, the person that was swinging said umbrella handle, attached to a very large umbrella, was my sister, kicking the shit out of some bitch in the hallway. My sister did not play games. My sister to this day does not play games. She's a Scorpio through and through. I adore my sister because there's no bullshit. There's no airs. There's no nothing. She is who she is. She will always be who she is, unapologetic. She's a lovely person and extremely funny, but she is unapologetic for who she is, and never felt that she should be. In a sense of, like I said, she grew up with 2 older brothers, and she could hold her own with both of them. When I was, like I said, with my brother and stuff, she knew the things that he said about me, but she didn't buy into them. So there was no defense for her because it wasn't a part of our back and forth or our story. Yeah. She loved me. We had fun together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we just really had a good time. There was just, no airs, just, being as genuine as you could be when you knew that there would be no judgment. And those are some of the toughest, especially like, any relationship, for someone to just see you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And love you just for seeing you. That's amazing. It's a gift. And that's why I love my sister so much. Mm-hmm. Aww. Oh, come on. You already know. Of course. We love Carolyn. Love her. Hey, Cara.
Yeah, it was a very tough time. And like I said, I really became very introverted. And like all through like the end of junior high, which is fun for anyone. Wish I could go back. The only reason I'll go back is for fucking Mrs. Spadaro, the gym teacher. Anyway, it was a very hard time. It really was a very sad time. And I started to think to myself, I can't do this. And I became very introverted. And I stopped being myself, and I stopped the dance. And it was sad. And it was unfair to me. And I didn't realize that until I got to college. And I started to meet a lot of the people. A little swish in their hips. Little lisp. Could really work a half top in any season. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of boys. And I was like, oh, how fun. There's people just like me. So I came back to myself, which was really fun for me, though, too. And that, to me, was my coming out to myself. Because it was like, ta-da! Now you have a name for it. Faggot? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I have a name for it. Pretty gay boy that likes to dance. So I decided I'm going to tell my mother. Now, is there any mothers in the... Yeah. Oh, you, please. I didn't say motherfuckers. I said mother. Very different. I said, Mom, could you come into the kitchen for a second? I'd like to tell you something. 22 at this point. And I was like, listen, I want to share something with you. She was like, what? I'm in the living room watching my shows. I was like, Mom, listen, Pat and Vanna can get through one fucking puzzle without you. Could you come in here, please? She comes in, she sits down, she's like, what? I was like, Ma, I'm gay. She was like, Who am I, Helen Keller? Come on! What, you're as gay as a fucking carousel in springtime, bitch! We all know you're gay. Hey! Brothers and sisters, stop the press. Your brother's gay. Take out this garbage and bring me my cigarettes. So it was that love and support that made me the proud gay man I am today. Thank you so much for listening.
So finally coming out to yourself at 22, did you take advantage of everything New York City had to offer as a young gay man?
Absolutely. That was my first STD, actually. I remember it fondly.
She's still there.
Herpes, the gift that keeps on giving.
And so you were living with your mom at the time when you were going to college.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you came out to your mom, it seemed just pretty natural. Did your relationship change at that moment, or did it seem pretty status quo?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Again, a mother always knows. So she always knew. She always knew. And college was, for me, college was freedom because coming out of high school, junior high was really rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the moment when I started sixth grade with this kid named Tommy, and by eighth grade, Tommy wanted to kick my ass because I was different. So by the time I got to high school, there was some conformity, and I did kind of like take on a different persona.
Yeah,
more of like the cool flannel shirt wearing, what's up, love Van Halen, let's smoke weed in the woods, persona. But by the time that was fine because I had a really good time. Didn't learn much, but I had a really good time and got in a lot of trouble. But college, because again, it wasn't you were graduating this school and you were going to another school with all the same people.
Yeah, this
was on your own. You chose your classes, what you were going to do, and it was all about me, which, ta-da, is one of my favorite things. And it gave me such freedom because, again, you're seeing others that are just like you. You recognize that you're not alone, and there are a lot of other people out there just like you, and they like to dance, and they like to have a good time, right, and make people laugh and express And yeah, it was very exciting for me. And, by that time, Mom was exhausted by the entire idea. I mean, she heard my brother call me a million times. There was fights in the house. It was terrible. And the day that I finally sat her down, I was like, and again, it was for me. I didn't do it for anybody else. I did it for me, just to let her know. It was, I needed like that moment. You know what I mean? And whatever it is, kind of Hallmark or however you want to define that moment. It was almost just like a checkpoint. I'm like, let me just stop here, drop this information, and then keep it moving. Listen, I'm gay. And she was like, uh-huh. And I was like, well, no, Mom, I wanted to share that information with you. I'm gay. She was like, honey, you're Marvin Gaye. Okay? We get it. Marcia Gay Harden, we get it. Okay? Get back on the carousel. Exactly. And put the wings back on your back because you are flying right out of here. But the most important thing about that was, again, staunch Staten Island Republican, Karen, she said, you are my son and I love you. No matter what happens. Like no matter what, I still love you. And it was a scary time, though, too. I mean, the whole AIDS crisis. I mean,
exactly.
Again, you know what I mean? Like,
frightening.
it was just really scary. It was 93, and now her son is coming out as gay, and she was like, what? She taught me well, and I always took care of myself. But to set me free like that and to let me, again, expand my mind. She knew that in high school I did stop myself. You know what I mean? Put a little halt on the person that is Michael Brill. Up a little break, got through it, but when it was over, she knew it was full throttle. And she's a great lady. She doesn't like to talk about it in a sense of it's again something that she never really understood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, truly understood. But almost like I said, sometimes that's why I feel that it was dropped in their laps because I made them understand that we're all different. In our own way. But she loved me because of it. And she still does. And, in a crazy sense, we're a lot alike.
Yeah.
And she there's a great respect between us because we are a lot alike. And I as a man, I know what life is about from my side, but at the same time, I also at times see it through her eyes. You know what I mean?
Oh, Karen Brill.
Karen Brill, everybody.
Give it up for Karen Brill.
Let's hear it for her.
So, Michael, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Listen, I'm just so glad you let me do it without pants on. That's the part I really appreciated, especially because we are in public. But the point,
Well, I want to tell you the 3 things that I learned about you during your coming out story is that from birth until today, Michael Brill knows how to put on a spectacular show on a budget.
yeah, oh, yes. Horse and pony, honey. You pull that shit together.
Exactly.
String that popcorn, hang it on the tray. Let's go. It's a party.
Number 2, Jim J. Bullock helped you through a rough patch when you were bullied and when Mary Ingalls was going through her blindness situation.
Oh,
poor thing. Poor thing.
thing.
And the third thing is Frankenstein has done absolutely nothing.
No, he just would have slid into a gold onesie. Who knows where he'd be today?
Exactly. Hollywood Walk of Fame. So thank you so much for listening to Cause of Cases, and thank you, Michael Brill.
I
for
love
doing
you,
this.
Sean. Thank you for having me.
Oh, please. You're a delight.
So are you, baby
And
girl.
so make sure you guys
My
subscribe. Oh, my friend Michael Brill. Aren't you
Mwah.
great? So making sure you guys subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or on Spotify. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at Closet Cases, Instagram and Facebook at Closet Cases Show. And for our next live show and lineup, go to closetcasesshow.com. Thank you again so much, Michael.
I love you. Big hug.
Yay!